to Quick Slants. It is presented by Nissan alongside this man right here at Barrett Brooks. I'm Derrick Gunn. I'm gone for a week. I come back to all this. Man, you didn't have to do this for me.
Oh, man, you wasn't gone for a week. You were gone about 3 weeks, number one.
I was gone for a week, man.
You were gone, and you abandoned me, bro.
What do you mean I abandoned you?
I had to do all this stuff myself, man. What's going on, man?
You always said you wanted a solo spot on the camera. I gave you the opportunity. Man,
it's a nice setup we got here.
This is great. It's like Disneyland in here, man.
Yes.
I'm liking this.
We can go slanting anytime, man. It's a great place to go slanting, man.
Oh, that's a great promo. You know what? I might actually enjoy working with you in this new... That's another story. All right, let's get right to it. Today, my first day back, by the way, the Eagles introduced their newest offensive weapon, running back Jordan Howard. Here he is on what he brings to the Birds.
I describe my playing style as being like rugged, physical, definitely like setting the tone. I feel like I'm a blue-collar player, and I feel like this is a blue-collar city. I feel like everybody running back just needs a few touches early in the game just to get a feel of the game, but I'm just coming here to play whatever role they need me to help the team to win games. I haven't had any sense. I haven't sat down and talked with them about anything, but I'm just coming to help the running back room get better. We're just going to make each other better by competing and pushing each other.
All right, B. Brooks, are we looking at a guy who is going to be the new so-called bell cow, or is he just going to be a part of this running back by committee?
Well, first of all, we got to work with this. Is this a situation where Doug changed his whole mindset on what he's bringing to the table? Is he going to change to going with a running back going out and playing every single play? That's the big thing. Will he run the ball? I don't know. And that's where I'm kind of like in the dark about how we're going to use this three-headed running back situation that we have. I love the fact that we have a bell cow back. We don't need him to go out there and really be a guy that goes and gets the ball all the time. But just a threat of him being out there is what we're looking for. We can't bring it to the point where, all right, when he's out there, we know he's going to run the ball. Then you bring Corey Clement in, you know you're going to pass the ball. That's what we got, messed up last year. Whenever Josh Adams came in, he was the guy that was going to run the ball because he couldn't catch out of the backfield. Well, they didn't allow him to catch out of the backfield. So what they did...
You saying he had hands of stone?
I'm not saying he didn't have hands of stone. I'm just saying they didn't trust him enough to catch the ball out the backfield. And that's the problem with the way the offense was running last year. When certain guys were out there, we knew they have certain roles, specific roles. You can't have that. You have to have a guy that's going to go out there and do all three very well. I think at this point, Corey Clement is the only one they trust really to go out and be that running back, to go out and play every single down. Corey was hurt last year, which really limited what they were going to do. So I think they just traded for confidence. That's the biggest thing. They traded for confidence. I really think that Doug will have confidence in having him go out there and play a lot of snaps and get a lot of run plays, and he can go out there and make positive yardage. I don't know if he necessarily thinks that he could have did that last year with the three guys he had. Sproles was hurt, injuries. Then you look at Josh Adams. He was a rookie. Probably going to fumble the ball, so that's why they trust him a lot. Then Corey Clement, injuries. With Josh Howard, I think he has a healthy back. He's going to go in there and really make a difference in the run game, and they will go out there and have confidence in running the ball.
All right, I don't think they really need a so-called bell cow. I don't think Doug Peterson actually wants a so-called bell cow.
You're right about that.
You go back to 2017 when he had a couple of battering rams like the Garrett Blount, Jay Ajayi, and then he trickled it down to the rookie Corey Clement. Let me look at some numbers for you here, Mr. Brooks. 2017, LeGarrette Blount had 9 games where he had double-digit carries. The most carries he had in any game in the regular season was 16. That same year, they bring in Jay Ajayi, right, for the last 8 games of the regular season. 3 times he had double-digit carries, all right? The most carries he had in any regular season game was 15. Then you go back to this past year. Jay Ajayi was supposed to be that so-called bell cow, and Corey Clement, Josh Adams, get the rest of the touches. But Jay Ajayi was not an overworked back in 2018. Unfortunately, he got injured. Now, that's not a knock against how Doug Peterson uses his running backs, because you look across the National Football League, and a lot of teams like to use running backs by committee. They don't want a defense to figure out what they're going to do with the running game. And of course, as you know, Barrett, coaches, players, they love to study individuals' tendencies as well.
Exactly.
So you don't want to get comfortable automatically letting the opposition know a certain running back's tendency, so you know what he likes to do on certain downs, first downs or third down. No, you bringing that offsetting back because you don't know what you're going to do with them, especially when it becomes like a 35, 36. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass the football? You keep them guessing. It helps your overall running game enhance itself.
But there's nothing like going out there and having that hammer to go nail all those defensive linemen. When you have the offense that runs the ball like they can do, with a bell cow back and come out there and force the defense to put that extra defender in the box.
Yep.
Now you have got weapons on the outside that can take advantage of it. This offense is always predicated on them being able to throw the ball. They throw the ball to start running the ball. I don't understand it, but that's what they do. But that's just their mindset. As an offensive lineman, you want to run the ball. You want to go, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Right.
I really think with Howard, they can do this, but I don't think he changes his philosophy on how he's going to go out there and execute this offense. This is a pass-first offense. They got a franchise quarterback. They're going to throw the ball more so than run it, but I just want them to have. That's why we don't have any 1,000-yard backs. The leading back that we had 511 yards.
Right.
Josh Adams.
Right.
Howard has had 1,000 yards. Well, he had 3,000 yards the last 3 years.
Sure.
3,000 yards.
Sure.
That means he's worthy of going out there and getting 1,000 yards this year if we trust him to go out there and be that every down running back.
You look at Jordan Howard, the 2 years he had over 1,000 yards, 2016, 2017. In those 2 seasons, he had 10 games where he had 20 or more carries. So he wasn't an overworked back.
Say it again.
20 or more carries, 10 times over 2 years. Of course, when they got Tariq Cohen up and running, they reduced his overall touches.
Yep.
All right, so with all these new weapons in the fold now, is the group of playmakers better than the ones that took the field to Super Bowl 52?
I think so. I think this group of playmakers is way better. You look at Torrey Smith. We replaced Torrey Smith and going out there and getting a really good back to Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun can go out there and he's a difference maker. He can take the top off the defense. If you look at it player for player, there's definitely better players in the 2019 system. But those guys in 2012, they love playing with each other. They love playing together. And I think if this 2019 team, gets that same kind of camaraderie, they can do the same thing. They can produce the same thing. But I think this offense is going to be a lot more potent. I mean, you look at it, you got Dallas Goedert as opposed to having Brent Selleck. This is a playmaker.
And Trey Burton. Trey Burton. Now.
Exactly. Well, Trey Burton, too.
Yeah.
You look at the running back situation. Now they got Jordan Howard. You had LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi there. I like what they have going on as far as offensively. And just D-Jax alone just gives you a presence that a defensive coordinator has to respect.
Now, I'm going to give you this. I like the fact that they finally have that so-called deep ball threat. Something they had been searching for. They couldn't find it with Torrey Smith consistently. They couldn't find it with Mike Wallace consistently. D-Jax can catch. He's got that baseball center fielder's mentality.
Yep.
If anything's in his time zone, he's going to snag it down. You got to keep D-Jax healthy, though. But when you talk about the quarterback situation, I might have a little bit of concern because you look at that team that was 2017. Now, Carson Wentz was not there, but they don't get that far without Carson Wentz at the helm before Nick Foles took over. Then you trickle down to Nate Sudfeld. Now you're starting with Carson Wentz. Keep your fingers crossed because you're hoping he can stay healthy for a 16-game season.
You ain't never lied,
and if he's not there, now you're dropping down to Nate Sudfeld or possibly a free agent or a rookie you may have to throw in there at any given time. So I'm a little apprehensive about the quarterback depth in that regard.
Well, you look at it, the backup quarterback is always everybody's favorite player, especially when you have a player like Carson Wentz.
Right.
They let him go for nothing, and at this point, what do? You let a guy like that go? Everybody's worried about Carson being hurt. Well, I think that Carson at this point is going to show everybody. It's a contract year, number one. Number two, he understands that everybody's thinking he's going to fail as far as playing the entire season. I think that's going to give him a little more oomph to go out there and make sure he's prepared, not just mentally, but physically ready to go out there and ball and prove all you naysayers wrong. And then next, we have a run game, which is going to help him out a lot more than it helped him out last year. Last year, he found himself throwing the ball because Doug Peterson did not trust the running back situation. Too many guys were hurt, too many young guys in there. He wants to go out there and establish the run. He can't do it with running backs like that. Now he has Jordan Howard. He can do it, which will put us in a better situation to trust them enough to go out and run the ball.
All right, so now that the bulk of this free agency frenzy is all said and done, let's step back, take a breath. And where do you think the Eagles need to bulk up now in terms of depth and possibly a starting situation?
I've been saying this for the longest, and people have been killing me over this. We need an impact linebacker. We need a guy who will go out there and punch somebody in the face.
Yes.
In the middle of that defense, when you have an impact linebacker, he really dictates what an offense does. That's why every time you get to the line as an offensive lineman, you're trying to find out where the Mike linebacker is. Well, if you have a stud at Mike linebacker, you have to change your whole offensive philosophy because you have a guy to go out there and run and make plays in the middle of that defense, it really puts you in a predicament. So now you got to look away from, just going out there and finding out and double team where Fletcher Cox is. Now you got to figure out where that Mike linebacker is, because he can rush, he can drop back, he can play coverage, he can do all the things we couldn't do. And impact linebacker is a guy that makes plays beyond the line of scrimmage. We want a guy to go out
Consistently.
there. Consistently.
Right. We don't have that.
Well, when you look at it, Vander Esch, Jalen Smith,
Yes.
in Dallas,
Yes.
they were difference makers.
Yes.
They made things happen
Yes.
in that defense that Dallas hadn't had for a long time. That's why we got swept. Vander Esch, the first game we played, made all the big plays.
Yes,
he had
he
the
did.
interception to start the game going off, and then he ended the game when he went out there and stopped that third down. Well, I think it was the fourth down play when he got Corey Clement behind the line of scrimmage. He won that game almost single-handedly by himself. Then you look at the second game. Both guys, Jalen Smith and him, made so many plays in the middle of that
Disruptive
defense.
factors.
We could not do anything on offense. So I think that's the biggest thing. If we can go out there and get an impact linebacker, a butt-kicking linebacker, it'll really put this defense in a position where Schwartz can go out there and call whatever he wants to call.
Who would dare question you about the Eagles needing a starting linebacker when you're talking about a drop-off from Nigel Bradham down to Camus Grugier-Hill? Camus a nice player.
He's an athlete,
Not an impact
good
player.
Yep.
Nathan Gary, nice role player. Not an impact player. You're right. You need somebody that can cause explosions at that linebacking position.
I played with a guy named Jeremiah Trotter.
I remember him.
Trot was a slobber knocker.
Yes.
When I say that, I can remember when we used to be in practice, and when he wasn't playing, before he became a slaughter, before he became the Axeman, we used to call him a guy that's going to go out there, and he would pick one offensive lineman every day. All right, I'm putting you out of practice. I'm like, yo, dog, we on the same team. Trot would go down there and purposely try to knock your head off. He would find one guy. It got to the point where Ray Rhodes, our head coach, would have to tell him, hey, Trot, stop it, man, stop it. He would try to run through guys. And that's the type of player you want. You want an attitude-adjusting type of player. He adjusts your attitude on offense. He makes sure that he puts you in a position like, all right, where's he at? Because there's offensive lineman, you looking for him too. All right, here he comes. He going to put his head right in your chest. We need that type of player here. That offensive coordinator is going to lose sleep. Waking up. Oh, man, we got to figure out where he is.
It's been a long time since we've had a linebacker of that kind of mindset.
Absolutely.
All right, much more still to come on this edition of Quick Slants presented by Nissan. The Eagles' win total over-under is set for the season. We will give you the line and have our betting expert, Brad Feinberg, break it all down for us. Plus, the Eagles have hit some home runs drafting defensive linemen in the first round. Names like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Barrett's here to break down one guy who could come in and help right away. We'll talk about that and more in just a moment.